Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE Smackdown on September 20th, 2016. And well, honestly, I feel like this will be a short one because honestly, I felt like this was a really good show, but there wasn't. But in the end, there's not much to really go over other than what I felt was good and what wasn't good throughout the show. So we'll start off right at the beginning of the show with the contract signed with Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch for the women's title at No Mercy, which I felt both sides performed a very, very good promo on each way of on each way. Becky's promo I felt came off really good, as not as revealing herself as a person who fought for her championship instead of being born into championships. And Alexa Bliss kind of playing the opposite role with everything in that sense as well. So I felt like they did a really good job with that promo, and it came off what you would kind of expect in a contract signing, table flip, and there you go. But overall, really good promo. I found this to be a very enjoyable opening segment, even though it was a promo segment to go along with it. Up next was American Alpha going up against the Usos. And man, this was a really good tag team match. They put this as number one contendership for the tag team titles at No Mercy as well. But this was a really good match and some great storytelling that went on during this entire match. Just how the Usos work over Chad Gable's knee throughout the entire match, and then when Jordan's going to go in to try to tag in Gable, he recognizes how bad the knee's injured, and instead of trying to tag him in, he decides to try to go at it on his own, like almost in a sense of putting the team before himself in that case, because of him wanting to make sure Chad Gable doesn't get injured a little bit more throughout the entire match. Like I said, there's some really deep storytelling going into this match, and it's something you usually don't see within a tag team match, and they did a really good job here, especially with how the Usos are coming off as heels now. They're doing a really good job that side. They had a quick promo backstage with Heath Slater and Rhino after the match. The Usos go over in this match. By the way, in that sense, they have a quick promo backstage with Rhino and Slater, which also came off rather well. Playing off the fact that the champions were maybe kind of flukes and everything in that sense, and teasing that the Usos are just going to take the titles real quick from them at the pay-per-view. Up next, you had Baron Corbin going up against Apollo Crews, and we've seen the match. It was a decent match again between the two of them, but we've seen this match before. Corbin goes over, pretty much kind of demolishing Apollo Crews in a small sense of it, especially towards the end of the match. And then Baron Corbin has another stare down with Jack Swagger, who was on commentary for the entire match. We'll see how this plays off, but I have a feeling that they're going to probably put Swagger as a guy who's just going to put over Baron Corbin in the end. Before I get into Ziggler and Miz as the match, you had a really good segment backstage. This happened like right after the contract signing. With Miz and Daniel Bryan. So Bryan's just walking backstage, and all of a sudden he runs into the Miz, and it's like, well, this can't be about your contract, and type of moment, because it looked like Miz had a problem in some way, shape, or form. So apparently there's a new contract on the table, and it's like, and he was like, no problem with that, just the match that I don't want to fight Ziggler tonight. It's like, okay, well, we could cancel the match and cancel your contract. So apparently it's in his contract that he has to defend the Intercontinental title when told, or it's going to, or he essentially gets fired from SmackDown in that sense of everything. I really like this backstage segment with the both of them. Again, they're teasing the fact that there's going to be a match, but I highly doubt there's going to be. But there's got to be some payoff to this somewhere down the road between the two of them, and we'll see where everything goes in that sense of everything. So as for Ziggler versus The Miz, the pay-per-view match was probably a better one, but this was, again, a very high-quality match from the both of them. They played off of each other really well. and Miz going over with essentially the same way, but done a little bit differently than at the pay-per-view, because Maurice gets ousted from ringside when she's trying to spray the perfume in Dolph Ziggler's eyes, and that does come into the finish of the match as well. So it came right into the in where Miz actually does it and steals the victory that way. Another very good match between the two of these guys. We've seen these two guys have matches before, but geez, these guys are really upping their game in the terms of their match quality over the last two for that purpose of everything. So again, really good match between the two of these guys. So this is going to kind of come into maybe a couple little down points, because these next two segments of the show felt like they were just like super, super rushed. You had Eric Rowan going up against Randy Orton, and of course, first of all, you got to say, what the heck have they done to Rowan's mask? He looks like a clown now. What the heck? But on to that, Orton wins the match rather quickly, and then you have a quick Bray promo to go along with it. I wasn't a big fan of the promo and everything, but it kind of did what it needed to do in that sense of continuing the storyline and everything in that side. So it did what it needed to do, but it wasn't much of anything. So you also had a backstage segment with Naomi and Nikki Bella, and the two of them are. Well, Naomi, I would say more than anything, cut off a pretty decent promo, and Nikki was kind of there in a sense, and basically kind of explaining her new character in that sense, and what the whole aspect of the glow is and everything like that. And I know it sounds really weird, but in the end, the entrance and how the new character for Naomi comes off rather well in the end of everything. So decent promo from them, and this leads into an aspect of the tag team match that was supposed to happen. You have Nikki and Naomi going up against Carmella and Natalya, and this match just ends. It starts and then it ends. It doesn't go anywhere at all. As a matter of fact, the disqualification that they did was like the dumbest disqualification possible. I mean, Natalya has Nikki Bella in the sharpshooter, but Carmella pulls her out of the ring and then throws Nikki Bella into the barricade, beating her down. And that's what causes the disqualification. Nothing that would cause a disqualification. Yeah, this match was one of those moments like, oh, we have this on the books, but we don't have as much time as we thought. Blah, go. No, it wasn't. It did not come off all that well in the terms of the women's match, and of course, all eyes at the moment are on Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch to go along with it, and they had that good segment beforehand. I thought the promo from Naomi and Nikki was at least a pretty good one, but the match that they were given was not much of anything. Up next, you had an AJ promo about the main event for Dean Ambrose and John Cena. That was coming up next. He came off it really well again inside of this promo, and basically saying it's like, sure, the only way that you're going to get the title off of me is by making sure I don't have to be pinned or submitted to get to lose the title. But tonight, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the aspect of both of the guys that I'm going to be facing are going to beat the crap out of each other for this week's SmackDown. So you had Cena and Ambrose. And what's going on with Cena? I mean, I know he won last week, but is Cena becoming a jobber? No, I'm just kidding. He's not becoming a jobber, but he is definitely putting people over, and he's putting them over clean. And that's what he does here. He puts over Dean Ambrose clean, and what was a pretty good match. Interesting finish. It was via a roll-up that the match ended, but again, still a clean victory for Dean Ambrose in that sense. After the match, AJ Styles basically lays out everybody. Phenomenal form to Cena. Pele kicked to Styles. And it looked like he was going to be basically standing over everybody. And Daniel Bryan comes out and informs AJ that he is going to have his title match with that Ambrose is going to have his one-on-one title match next week against AJ Styles, and of course AJ's like saying no, we should just do it right now, and then he goes to go after Dean Ambrose and he gets nailed with dirty deeds. This main event segment I thought came off rather well. Again, Cena putting people over cleanly, and especially on non-pay-per-view side, is a new concept for us. For some people, usually if he puts somebody over clean, he does it on pay-per-view. He doesn't do it on SmackDown or Raw or any televised show. He does it on the pay-per-view. But overall, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this SmackDown. I thought it came off rather well. Only had a couple little down points to the entire show, but otherwise a relatively entertaining show that I thought came off rather well. So, yeah, that is my review for WWE Smackdown this week. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day.